And Rachel, House Democrats are sending a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi expressing concerns that Elon Musk's role at Doge creates conflicts of interest. What more can Democrats do here to try to push back on Musk and Doge?
Well, right now it's a lot of protesting. Obviously, they don't have power here in Washington, so there's limits to what they can do. I will say that it's not clear to me and to other senior Democratic strategists who have sort of worked on campaigns for a really long time that this is sort of the political message, winning political message that Democrats think it is. I mean, the reality is that when it comes to the federal bureaucracy, a lot of Americans think it's bloated. They support the idea of rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse. And I mean, there is concern, obviously, that Elon Musk is going to go in, he's going to cut benefits of some sort for Americans. If that happens, Democrats very much would have sort of a winning message, these strategists tell me, if they are calling foul on that. But when it comes to some of this other stuff, I mean, the reality is that foreign aid is not very popular with the American people. And so I have talked to Democrats who are actually warning their own party to tread carefully on this. They're concerned that, you know, if you want to sort of win back swing districts, if you want to win back those sort of coalition of voters that you have to basically persuade to your side in order to sort of get back into the good graces and sort of win back the House, win back the Senate, and eventually win back the presidency, that this is not really the fight that they should be starting with the White House. So I think the Democratic position on here is actually really interesting to watch because it actually shows the divisions in their own party about the future and what path they want to trod now that Republicans are in the majority.
Individual judgment decisions. These are about simply having sensible checks and balances in the system itself to ensure that taxpayer money is spent well. So it's got nothing to do with, like, say, a contract with some company of mine at all.
But if there is a conflict of interest when it comes to you yourself, for instance, you've received billions of dollars in federal contracts when it comes to the Pentagon, for instance, which the president, I know, has directed you to look into.
Yeah.
Are you policing yourself in that? Is there any sort of accountability check and balance in place that would provide any transparency for the American people?
Well, all of our actions are fully public. So if you see anything, you say, like, wait a second, hey, Elon, that seems like maybe that's, you know, there's a conflict there. It's not like people are going to be shy about saying that. They'll say it immediately.
Including you yourself.
Yes. But transparency is what builds trust, not simply somebody asserting trust. So not somebody saying they're trustworthy, but transparency, so you can see everything that's going on. And then you can see, am I doing something that benefits one of my companies or not? It's totally obvious.
And if we thought that, we would not let him do that segment or look in that area if we thought there was a lack of transparency or a conflict of interest.
But I followed up.
If you have received billions of dollars in contracts from the Pentagon, and the president's directing you to look into the Department of Defense, is that a conflict of interest?
Yes, we definitely need to do and are going to do at the president's request.
Does that present a conflict of interest for you?
No, because you'd have to look at the individual contract and say, first of all, I'm not the one, you know, filing the contract. It's people at SpaceX.
Musk and Trump have complained several of their plans are stalled in the courts, raising concerns the administration may defy a judge's orders. Today, the president told me that won't happen.
If a judge does block one of your policies, part of your agenda, will you abide by that ruling? Will you comply with that order?
Abide by the courts, and then I'll have to appeal it. But then what he's done is he slowed down the momentum.
As Musk's team tears through government agencies, Musk today acknowledging he has sometimes posted misinformation about their findings.
Well, first of all, some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. So nobody's going to bat 1,000. I mean, we will make mistakes, but we'll act quickly to correct any mistakes.
Quite a scene there. Rachel Scott joins us now. Rachel, what more are we learning tonight about Musk's specific power in his role as a special government employee?
Yes, Lindsay. So there in the Oval Office, I will tell you, it was clear just how much power Elon Musk has in this White House. Tonight, we are learning he is about to be even more powerful. The president signing an executive order shortly after we left the Oval Office that directs all federal agencies to work with Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency to cut staffing and limit hiring. It also gives Musk and his team this broad authority to decide which positions should or should not be filled across the federal government, Lindsay.
A lot of power there. All right, Rachel Scott from the briefing room at the White House. Thanks so much, Rachel.